Hello.
Hello. How
Good
are you today,
afternoon.
Ewan?
I'm doing great. Happy Friday, Cassandra. How's life?
Happy Friday. Life is good. It's a nice
Lucky,
sunny, warm day
lucky.
here in Charleston.
Oh, it's gorgeous here in Savannah too. It is
Mm-hmm.
absolutely perfect. I'm
Mm-hmm.
waiting for the fall. Like when's the temperature just gonna go boom? It's just been like I can't decide. Should I wear shorts? Shouldn't I wear shorts? It's
I
very
know.
hard.
I know. I know. I decided on shorts today because the temperature is going to go down on Think Monday.
I
So
heard.
I'm riding the wave.
At least we have the weekend.
Indeed. Well, welcome
Do
to
your
Sparks
thing.
Squared Speak Easy. We are the leadership conversation that you are not meant to overhear. No slides, no script, and no corporate nonsense. This is Smart Pub Chat meets leadership therapy, where we talk about what leadership actually looks like when things get uncomfortable, when they get messy, and when they get real. I am Cassandra Sparks, and I am joined by the brilliant, by the incomparable Ewan from the Bright Spark Group. Pull up a
Thanks
chair,
so much,
grab your
Cassandra.
drink of choice, and let's get into it. All right, the speakeasy doors are open.
Woohoo! It's my favorite time of the Friday.
Woohoo!
Love it.
Indeed. So, last week we talked about how to say no as leaders. And we had a small challenge of saying no to just one thing. What was your one thing that you said no to last week?
I feel really bad, but I said no to a plant. Not specifically a plant. I said no to the human owner of a plant. Um,
Mhm,
I have been notoriously busy recently, and
mhm,
I had set a precedent to a very good friend of ours that I would be their plant dad whenever their
mhm,
plants were poorly, and I just didn't have time this week, and a
mhm.
poorly plant needed my assistance, and I had to say no. And I felt really bad at the time, but I heeded your advice that no is a complete sentence. And
Yes.
when asked, I said, no, I can't do that. I'm really sorry. And that was it. And it was fine. She was like, oh,
How
I
did it
understand.
feel?
You're busy. It felt liberating. It did. It felt liberating. I will say, totally honestly, I felt a little bit
Please.
rude because I am inherently British. And I wanted to be
Mhm.
uber polite about it and be like, I'm so
Of
sorry. I
course.
really didn't mean to upset your plant. And your plant is sick. But I didn't. I did just say, no, I'm really sorry. I can't do that. Um,
Hmm.
and it was fine. They were like, I know
Love
you're busy.
that.
I just thought I'd ask. So yeah,
Good.
how about you? What did you
That,
do
that's
last week as
wonderful.
our courage challenge?
Oh, I'm so proud of you. Good work. Yay. I tend to get a lot of marketing emails of people being like, hey, we can give you this and this and this. And they all look shiny and bright. And there was one that I had considered and ended up saying no, thank you to, and didn't really say much beyond that. So it felt good to kind of like clear some space and to not commit to something that
Mm.
wouldn't really serve me in the long run.
Well done. How do you feel afterwards?
Felt great. Felt great.
Good. One less
Absolutely.
email
Yep.
to have to receive as well. I've got really
Yeah.
good at actually saying to um, telemarketers that
Mm.
I just don't want your product, and that's
Hmm.
okay. You can keep on calling me, but I'm still not going to want your product. So you're
That's
either going to
right.
waste your time or you're going to waste somebody else's time, but it's not going to be my time that you're going to waste. And normally they
Mm-mm.
don't call back. I will say though that with telemarketers, the problem is that you kind of open up Pandora's box of phone calls as soon as you answer the first call.
Mm.
That's it. It's like there must be some sort of like AI algorithm that says this
Hmm.
person answers their phone, call them incessantly now for the next 2 weeks. But there you go.
I I know what
Well
you
done for
mean
saying
because
no.
as small business owners, we have to answer our phone if it's an unknown number because it could be a potential client, it could be
Mm,
anyone. So that does, you're right, open up Pandora's box, and not answering the phone has consequences. Yet so
right.
does answering the phone. So it's this really
I
hard
know.
catch 22.
And have you noticed that they got really clever now because they'll now phone you from your local area code.
Oh,
So you
uh-huh.
think, oh, this is a local number, so I must
That's
answer
right.
this because it will definitely be someone that wants to give me all their money. And actually it's the opposite. It's a nightmare.
100%. It is not great. Yes. Well, that's good. We
All
we
right.
both did
Let's
really great with the challenge last week. At the end of this
we
episode,
did.
we're going to pose a new Friday courage challenge. So stick around. Ewan, what are we doing this week? What are we chit chatting
Oh,
about?
well, I'm glad you asked, Cassandra,
Mm-hmm.
because this week's pub conversation is going to be all about playing that dangerous leadership game, bold or BS. So we're going to give it.
Ooh,
I know, right? Bold or BS is
yes.
our topic for this week. We're going to give examples of common leadership advice that looks amazing on LinkedIn. We have all seen those posts on LinkedIn, but really they are probably just beige sans serif font. You know
Mm-hmm.
those like you know what they're like.
I
Um,
do.
and we're going to decide, is it actually bold leadership advice or is it just corporate cosplay at the end of the day? Because
Hmm.
some of that advice, it does sound wise, but realistically in practice, it's just dysfunction in a blazer, right?
That's a good one. Yes, absolutely.
It sure is.
So, what's the
Okay.
first one then? What's the first thing we've seen that we're like, let's assess?
Okay. So you have to earn respect, is my first
Mm.
BS bombshell. Or is it bold? The truth is, it depends, in my opinion. You have to earn
Oh, yeah.
respect. So when you think about you have to earn respect,
Hmm.
my thinking behind this one, when I see it on like LinkedIn or those little fancy posts that
Hmm.
those influencers who, by the way, how do they get so many likes? Like I
I'd
post
love
something
to
out that's
know.
equally as insightful and
Hmm.
I get like 3 likes. They get like 35,000 in the first 4 minutes. Like, where are they
I
coming
know.
from? There's somebody somewhere in the world sitting in a basement with 34,000 cell phones in front of them, I swear, and they just go boop all at once.
Boop, boop, boop.
Anyway,
Hmm.
basic respect is not, in my opinion, always earned. You don't
Hmm.
earn being treated professionally,
Hmm.
in my opinion. I think you don't earn being listened to. If someone says that you have to like overperform to gain that respect, then in my opinion I don't really think that that's leadership. I think that that's
Hmm.
there's a certain level of insecurity there. Perhaps it's insecurity that's kind of been labeled as something, or it's insecurity with a title that you possessed,
Hmm.
that you possess or have been given. I think, in my opinion, respect as a human being just has to be like the very baseline. You shouldn't earn it. You should just give it and in return receive it.
Hmm.
That's my opinion of respect. And I think that respect is one of those things that I think some people have not had the life experience as a leader or have not had the ability to refine their understanding of what respect truly is. So they overdo it. Like they have to they feel like they have to try too hard to gain this respect. So that's my thoughts. I think a big question, I suppose, is what is respect to start with, right? Like, what does respect mean to you? I'd be interested to hear that.
Sure. I think respect and credibility can go hand in hand. So
Yeah.
we know that credibility, because we've discussed it in past weeks, is something that we earn. And I think it comes from trust, influence, and ultimately doing what you say, owning your mistakes, and don't take credit for something that you didn't do.
Right.
That's like baseline credibility. And again, if credibility and respect are cousins, that's how I would say we could earn respect.
Right. I agree. I think that
Mm-hmm.
credibility though is somewhat harder, I think, as a leader to wrap your head around. I think that
Hmm.
for many people, and certainly not everybody, I think that if only this was the case, that everybody had an innate understanding of what respect was, then I think the world would just be a better place. But
Yes.
the reality is that credibility is almost something that you have to learn the
Hmm.
definition of and the feeling of, and the um you have to learn how to be credible, in my opinion. Whereas
Hmm.
respect, for most people, is something that's innate and human, and should form just the basis, the foundation of every interaction you have with any other human being that walks the face of the earth. Whereas credibility, like you said, it's that concept of walk the talk. You've got to
Hmm.
learn how to do that over time. Um,
Hmm.
and as a leader, that I think that like you say, that cousin concept of respect and credibility are cousins. I love that. They are different things, but they are so intrinsically linked together. As a
Hmm.
leader, particularly.
Hmm. Absolutely. Yes. Because here's the thing, right? If people only respect you when you're crushing it at work, that's not respect. That's just
Yeah.
performance based affection.
I love that concept of performance-based affection. Isn't that great? I think I've worked with so many people in my life that I could think, gosh, you thrive off of performance-based affection.
That's right. Yes.
There should be a
Yes.
KPI. I love that.
Mm. Yes.
Your KPI is
Yes.
your performance-based affection score as voted by your colleagues and peers.
Amazing.
I love it.
Okay.
So
Yeah. So to earn respect, it depends. That's kind of our
yeah,
synthesis, right?
I
Depends.
agree. I think it definitely does
Okay.
depend. Is it bold? Is it bush?
Mm,
Then yeah, I'm gonna
a little bit of
say
both.
I'm gonna say I'm with you. It depends
Okay.
very much. All right, go for it. Give us another one. What
All
did you
right.
come up with?
So this one, this one really gets me. Work-life balance. That theory in itself. But the concept is work-life balance is a myth. Is it bold
Mm,
or is it BS?
okay.
I believe that it's BS and it's misunderstood.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the thing, right? We both own businesses. We both do other things outside of our businesses to help serve others and help make people's lives better. And I don't know about you, but it's never 50-50. Balance
Right.
isn't 50-50. Even in personal relationships. You know, if you have a partner and you're like, oh, we're equals, that's great. And I'm all about that as a general idea. But you don't each show up 50-50 every day, right? One
Right.
day your partner might take 90% and then you take 10. And then the next day it could completely switch. So balance doesn't exactly equal 50-50
Yeah.
because it's all about the seasons of what we're going through. It's knowing when to sprint and when to rest.
Right.
Because chronic exhaustion, that's not hustle, that's just poor boundaries. And that
I
brings me
couldn't.
thinking about what we talked about last week about saying no, right? Boundaries are powerful and they prevent us
Right.
from getting that out of balance.
I love that chronic exhaustion is not hustle.
Mm.
That I agree. I think there's that concept that you see a lot on LinkedIn, actually, from a lot of
Mm-hmm.
influencers out there, that it's like burnout's not a badge of honor.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's a sign that you're not managing your time effectively. And
Mm-hmm.
I agree. I listen. I've been burnt out.
Of
I'm sure you
course.
have too. I'm sure there are
Mm-hmm.
many people that watch this that are also feeling burnt out right now. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that any leader that says they haven't been burnt out is probably not being truthful in its entirety. But I think that it's how you learn from that burnout how to make sure that it doesn't happen again to the same extent. And I think that on LinkedIn, on the other side of LinkedIn, I think that there is a lot of that sort of guilt that's attached to the posts that you see and the BS that you see out there. That's like, if you're not burnt out, then you're not doing it right. Or if you're not earning 500K a month, then you're not doing it right. Or if you're not booking this many clients or this many discovery calls or converting this amount, you're not doing it right. And I just think that that's where they lose sight of the fact that human beings cannot always be as successful as they want to let the world perceive that they are. I think that if you truly wanted to achieve those numbers or achieve that level of success, you've got to go through some burnout to get there. I just worry that it sends a message to people that that any balance, whether it is truly balanced, whether it's 50-50 or not, it should be the compromise. Like, you should compromise balance over success. And I don't think that's true. I think that you have to be realistic. And if you want to be a business owner and you want to succeed and you want to earn enough money to pay the bills and do the things you want to do as a human being on this earth, then yeah, you have to work hard. Absolutely. There's no getting away from that. But it shouldn't be at the detriment, or it shouldn't require you to compromise your mental health and your family life and the other part of your world that's not work. So I agree. I think that boundaries are so important. And I think that whilst chronic exhaustion is not a sign of hustle, I think that that shouldn't mean that we don't hustle. I remember, I'm sorry, I'm kind of going off topic here and doing a bit of a waffle. I remember seeing a post on LinkedIn that I did really love that wasn't this whole like work-life balance. And it was that work-life balance is not about 50-50. It's about knowing when to work and when to life. And that could be work-life balance for you, Cassandra, is that you get up at 4 a.m. in the morning and you do 3 hours of work. And then 7 o'clock in the morning, you stop, you take the kids to school, or you take the dog for a walk, or you go to the gym, or you go and see that friend for a morning coffee for an hour. And then you come back and you do 30 minutes of work. And then you do, and I just love that concept that it took this concept of work-life balance, that we should work and then stop working and then go and do our life and come back to work the next day. I just don't think that's realistic. And I think that that is the BS. I think that the bold version of work-life balance is knowing that it fluctuates and it comes and it goes, and it has to work with your life and what's going on in your world at this moment.
Ewan, can I get a hell yeah?
Hell yeah!
Beautifully said.
It was there. Thank you. I definitely with the BS on this one. What about you?
Definitely. Yes.
Nice.
Agreed.
Okay, will we do another one?
Yes. Last one.
All right. Okay. So I came up with this one. I think that it really annoys me. Your title gives you authority.
Allow me to give you your crown, sir.
Thank you. I love you. I've always found this so infuriating. And I think I'm going to give an example here of the cruise line industry.
Oh, good.
If no one's experienced a cruise ship before in their life, then you're probably not going to get this, but I'll try and paint a picture for you. On the cruise lines, in cruise line world, whether you are working as a maritime officer or whether you're working as a hotel officer, you're still pipped on the shoulder. You've got your pips, or what we like to call the French fries, the golden stripes on your shoulders to denote your
Ooh.
rank on board. It's listen, on the maritime side, the people who are actually doing the marine stuff, it's very
Mhm.
important.
Mhm.
But in the hotel, I mean, it's kind of for show. And
Okay.
one of the most infuriating things to me was that you'd have somebody there who just wanted their stripes. And if you
Mm.
transplanted that individual, food and beverage manager, wanting to get the extra stripe by moving up to the position of food and beverage director, if you transferred that person, individual, into a resort setting, land-based,
Mhm. Mhm.
I guarantee that their perception on promotion would be completely different. But
Mm.
because there was this like tangible, visible stamp of authority, they had this like drive that they had to get that promotion. They deserved that promotion. And when they got it, there was very little substance underneath it.
Mhm.
And I think that a lot of my colleagues who deserved the promotion, when they got there and they got the stripes, it was even more of a struggle because then their authority, if you want to call it that, was visible to everybody else around. So they had to work harder to make sure that their credibility and their respect truly underpinned what was on their shoulders. And I
Oh,
just
yeah.
always thought, imagine if in the real world, in land world, we made everybody wear kind of the level of their authority on their shoulders.
Mm.
How would that shift and change people's perception of their leader? And would that leader be able to live up to the expectation of what's on their shoulder? I think
Whew.
that for a lot of leaders, this title, especially in the land world, gives them that power, that sense of power. But the question I would then ask that leader is, do you have the influence that goes along with that power? Or is it
Mm.
just stripes? Is it just stripes on your shoulder? Because if it's just stripes on your shoulder, it means nothing at all. But if you have that credibility and that ability to influence, because those stripes actually mean something, they mean experience or knowledge or passion or an ability, then great. I love that. But it flipping infuriates me when people are given a title and they suddenly assume this sense of power that goes along with it.
Mhm. Mhm. It sounds to me like power can be inauthentic. And where
Mm-hmm.
the authenticity comes is through influence, because influence is relational.
Mm-hmm.
And we can build that authenticity through building relationships, because authority can sound like, you know what, she makes me better. Or my boss, he really listens.
Mm-hmm.
And one of my favorites is, my supervisor, when they walk into the room, they elevate everyone in the room. That's influence. And that's based on
Yeah.
how we treat people. Again, going back to the idea of respect that we discussed earlier, it's all connected. Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I agree. I love that they elevate the room, and I always kind of use that in my head as kind of the metric of how
Mm-hmm.
successful a leader truly is that when they
Sure.
walk into the room, and we've spoken about this before on a previous episode, but how do they impact the vibe? How how do
Yes.
how do people feel in their presence? Do they feel elevated? Do they feel inspired? Do they feel anxious or uncertain? So yeah, I'm all aboard with that. And I
Mm-hmm.
think you can that's not something you can kind of demand, right? You've got
Mm-hmm.
to, as a leader, grow it and cultivate it and tend to it and constantly be aware of it. And that is done through, we go back to the beginning of the episode, through just being a nice human being that's thoughtful and respectful and I just don't think that it comes. There's any. Of course, there are times where you have to push or you have to maybe say the
Mm-hmm.
thing that people don't want to hear. But if you do it in a way that at its absolute heart and core,
Mm-hmm.
it's done with support and love and growth in mind, then
Mm-hmm.
you can still earn respect even when you're having to say things that are not necessarily the thing people want to hear. That takes hard work.
Yes.
That's energy draining, right? If you're doing that
Mm-hmm.
or 5 days out of the week, or as a business owner, 7 days out of the week. I mean, the reality is that it is tough. It's exhausting, and it is hard. Like, let's be realistic. It's hard to
Mm-hmm.
be nice all of the time. Sometimes you just want to
Mm-hmm.
sit in a dark room and just swear a few times at the wall.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Mm-hmm. I believe
I
in the
think
power of
that's
the F-bomb.
well, I'm British, so I believe in the power of a lot of words that I can't possibly say here that I would be able to say on broadcast television in the United Kingdom. We'll leave it at that. Leave people's
Yes.
imaginations running wild.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Um, yes, sorry, we waffled there a little bit, didn't we?
No, we didn't. That
I
was
say we.
brilliant.
I.
That was
Sorry,
brilliant.
I threw my waffle onto you there, Cassandra. So
We're
sorry.
blethering, remember? This is what we
We're
do. We
blethering.
blether.
So can I tell you something about
T-
blethering? I know that was on our very
Please.
first
Yes, it was.
foray. Um, that the fabulous Laura, our executive ops
Yes.
coordinator at the Bright Spark Group, she uses it all the time now because of our episode. She's like, "Oh gosh, we've done a nice wee blether there, didn't we?" There you
Oh,
go. Shout out
Laura.
to Laura. I know, right?
Yeah, well, shout out to you for modeling great leadership
By using Scottish words.
by just treating, no, well, yes, and by treating Laura and the rest of your team with respect and kindness and giving them a fine reputation to live up to. That's
Well, that
amazing.
is not. Thank you. I
You're
appreciate that, Cassandra. I
welcome.
try. I
You
try.
succeed.
We should ask them. Maybe they could be a guest on the show one week.
Oh, let's have them on.
Or maybe
I
they could
think,
stand in for me and they can tell you what it's really like.
oh my goodness. Because, right, if
I
here's
love
the
it.
thing, if people follow you only when you're in the room, like, congrats. You basically just earned or bought, in this case, a participation trophy. And not even a nice one, like a really crappy brass one that's tarnished.
Oh, or
It's
like a
not,
plastic one. Do you know there's like soccer ones
oh,
that are
yes,
plasticky and
that's even
yeah,
worse. Yes.
yeah,
Yes. So we really want
agree.
to empower leaders to be followed and empowered outside of the room because they're setting the good example, they're creating that respect, and they're modeling what it's like to be successful in that business, whatever their business is.
Yeah, I love that. I couldn't agree
Yeah.
more. Okay, so just very quickly then, your title gives
Mm-hmm.
you authority, bold or bullshit?
Mm. What do you think?
I'm gonna go with bullshit.
Yes. Agreed.
I
Yes.
think there's a lot more to it than just the
Mm-hmm.
words on your name tag or your
Mm-hmm.
employee record.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Lovely. Well, I think that we are due a Friday challenge. Our Friday
Oh,
Courage challenge is up. And you're taking it this week. So, what have you
I
got for us this
am.
week then, Cassandra?
All right. Friends, before we close the speakeasy doors for the week, let's present this week's Friday's challenge. It is simple. Lead with influence, not your title. All right, so pick one interaction. It could be a meeting, a call, a check in. And instead of telling people what to do, you could say, here's what I'm thinking. What do you think? And then stop talking, pause,
Oh,
and
I liked
listen.
where that was going. I would like to say,
Yeah. Why don't we do it again? Yeah. So just shut your mouth, pause, listen, because your team members have valuable feedback. Your clients have powerful thoughts. So ask the
I don't know if
question. Here's
anybody
what I'm
else.
thinking. What do you think? Ooh, what do you think? And then just listen. Why do you think that would work, Ewan?
That was not where I thought you were going there, by the way. But okay. I love that question. Here's what
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking. What do you
Mm-hmm.
think? And then shut the up.
Yep.
I don't do that enough. I am notorious across my team. One person particularly, she knows who she is always
Okay.
telling me, "You talk so fast." Because I have got so much in my brain and I need to get it out. So I'm having to really
Mm-hmm.
work on that, where I just like
Mm-hmm.
slow down and then pause for question.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I love that. Very excited
Mm-hmm.
to try it. And I think that
Mm-hmm.
it does. It helps people have their voice, right? And it helps people take
Definitely.
ownership. They can
Yes.
own the answer.
Absolutely. Because bold leadership isn't louder. It is, however, steady and intentional. And it's earned in those moments where no one's clapping. Even though we love the claps and the spotlight and we love we love the confetti, but that's not necessarily when bold leadership is earned.
Mm.
So, friends, if this conversation sparked something for you, share it with someone who needs a seat at our table. We will see you back here next Friday. Same speakeasy, same sparks. Farewell.
Thank you all so much. Belle is down here snoring her head off. So if that could be heard on this live stream, I apologize.
Oh, that's
Have a
nice. We
great
put
night,
her right to
everybody.
sleep.
Right. Yeah, right. Happy Friday.
Bye.